In this episode of Dirt and Debauchery, the crew and I leave our first bush camp in Clinton, BC, and head 4.5 hours south to the town of Osoyoos. Our crew boss, Ailey, calls this place Disneyland, probably because we get to live in free motels right on the water with beautiful views of the mountains, or maybe because the land we were going to plant was so majestic and could make us a lot of money. However, this was a time filled with lots of tears and a strong desire to quit from most of the rookies on my crew, including myself.
Today I've really wanted to quit. Howdy y'all! It is the first day of the 5th shift and our first day planting in our new location by the town of Osoyoos in southern interior of BC. This is feeling like the first real day of planting because we're no longer in the creamy land with burnt trees all around. We're in our first legit cut block. And the terrain is definitely a lot more difficult to navigate. There's a lot of fucking debris everywhere, and I've just been tripping all over the place. Plus the specs on this contract are a lot different too. We're planting some new species today. There's larch, which looks like pine, just a lot more fucking mangy, like there's just not really many needles on there. And then we also have this beautiful spruce. Now these seedlings are definitely a lot bigger than what we were planting before, but surprisingly they're lighter, so I guess that's a good thing. My first bag took about like 3 hours or 3.5 hours, and all I did was plant like 270 trees, so that's more than a minute a tree. Definitely not good. At this point, I don't think I'm going to hit my new goal of 1,500. I'm definitely taking today as a day to just acclimatize to this terrain and to this new planting style and planting specifications. I think a more realistic number is like 700 trees. Luckily, this block, it's more, is a better price. It's about like 15 cents a tree. But yeah, I still probably won't make that much money today, although I am feeling in a good mood because I'm not having any expectations. Like the only thing that I'm focusing on today is acclimatizing to the land so that I don't get seriously injured and keeping my mood up. So far, I've been doing pretty well. I ate shit at the end of my first bag, but you know what? I handled that situation well because I had this beautiful view to admire while I was processing that pain, so I was just focusing on that. It is definitely going to be an interesting stay here. I hope that I start getting faster and by the end of this shift we can hit 1,500, but who knows? I'm just taking it one tree at a time. So here's a quick little tour of our motel rooms. Basically we share between 2 people, in my case 3 because I sleep in my van. You come on in and there's a bed as well as another bedroom there, a lovely kitchen table, a fridge, a stove, a sink, and a washroom with a bathtub. This is my favorite feature. I take baths every single day, which is something I haven't done since I moved out of the house. So although I realize I don't really like spending that much time in them, I am dedicated to soaking and making the most of it. And that's pretty much it. Like, it's just a regular room, but compared to bush camp, it's about the little luxuries that really make things a lot more comfortable here. One thing I forgot to mention about motels is that the company actually pays for them, so we are not charged to be here. However, we do have to pay for our own food, which to me is the biggest downside of being in a motel compared to a bush camp. Now, in other companies, they usually charge a camp fee every day to be in a bush camp, and that covers like food mostly, but in our camp we don't. So personally, I would prefer to be in a bush camp because the food that they make is just gourmet, and you don't even have to worry about that. But so yeah, here you kind of have to really focus on meal prep, and I guess it is kind of a positive thing, because one thing that bothered me about bush camps is the amount of excess food waste that was going on. You know, they have to make sure that they feed us enough, and obviously we're doing a job that requires a lot of calories, so they don't want anyone to go hungry, but it's a bit difficult to figure out how much food everyone's capable of eating, and at the end of every meal there's tons and tons of extra food just in the garbage, which really hurts. So here, you know, you are a lot more discerning, and I'm eating a lot less, but I'm wasting a lot less as well. So yeah, there's pros and cons to both bush life and motel life. Second day of the 5th shift. I just stabbed myself in the eye. These fuckers. I can't really open my left eye. I think there's just like dirt or something in it. But I'm wearing contacts, and if I take out my contacts, my vision will just be blurry. Oh, fuck, man. Today I've really wanted to quit. Ow.
How does that feel?
I think better, but yeah, it's getting better.
But you can see, right? Like, close one eye.
That one's fine.
Yeah, close the other.
No, it's blurry. I don't even know if my contact is still in my eye. Hold on, let me see. Oh, it like shattered in my eye.
Oh shit.
That's why. Yeah, it like completely cut it out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's crazy.
Wow, yeah, the pain's better now.
I'm coming to base food now, Addie. Thank you.
Oh, this is so fucked. Okay, well.
You see better now?
Better my contact than my cornea.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
How long can you last, Mike, before you quit?
2 days, yeah.
2 days?
2 days.
2 more days.
Yeah. Like at least Osoyos and get the fuck out of here. Woo! Don't go triple thing, I told you, Hear that? Oh, sheesh! Sheesh!
Imagine if you get like famous on YouTube and we are the 2 quitters.
I kind of think I'm gonna quit as well.
No shame, I don't give a shit. I will never see you guys again in Quebec, so I fuck you! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa.
Karma.
Would be funny, it would be funny.
Today I have a day off after the 5th shift, and I'm feeling like I really can't go on with the way that things currently are. So I believe that it is about time that I kill myself.
Whoops! Sorry, I meant to pick up the magic mushrooms. Wrong kind of death, folks. I am not suicidal, and I'd prefer to quit than just end my life. But I do think that part of me does have to die in order for me to be able to make space and transform into a version of myself that is more strong and capable of being resilient and making the most of this opportunity. As I mentioned in my previous video, I consider tree planting as the archetypal hero's journey. However, I really don't know what it means to be a hero. I understand that it involves, you know, descending into the underworld, into hell, letting go of the version you once were, burning away all the inadequate parts of yourself, and rising from the ashes like the phoenix, being stronger and more capable of facing the burden that we're called to take upon. And obviously, you don't really need to do drugs in order to get there. However, I do not take them often, and I think that it's about time that I have a spiritual transformation. So that is what I'm going to do today. I am going to take a heroic dose of mushrooms. I've never taken that much before, but how else am I going to figure out how to be a hero? And then I'm going to inflate my kayak and just go out on the water by myself, descend into the chaos of my own mind, and figure out who I need to become in order to make the most of this experience.
It's making me emotional, just sitting here and meditating and thinking about what it means to be a hero. I think it means just really giving it your all. You know, really diving into the experience, no resistance, no, you know, one step in it and one step, you know, in some other world. It's really just diving deeply into it and giving it your all, seeing how far you can go. Like, doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter what you think you can do, doesn't matter, thinking does not matter at all. It's just doing, just being. I think going out there, I have really good numbers. I finally hit 1,000 again, and it didn't take that much effort. I think I'm giving myself 80%. I'm giving this experience 80%. You know, there's still 20% of me that, although I told myself I'm in it, you know, I'm still enjoying the idea of, oh, I can just quit, I can just leave, right? And that's not what a hero says. A hero doesn't quit. So I have to be here. I have to completely be here, and that's the first step. A hero doesn't quit. That's the first thing that I'm realizing. A hero doesn't quit. And in fact, not only does a hero not quit, they enthusiastically go towards the thing that scares them the most, the thing that they're being called to do, the fucking, I don't know, the journey, the dragon that they have to slay. Which in my case is planting as many trees as I freaking can in a day. Right now, it's 1,000. That's what I'm saying to myself. That is how many trees that I can plant in a day on this land, which is, in my perception, really shitty. Or at least in some parts, really shitty. But I'm asked to do much more. Much, much, much more. And that scares me. Because I'm like, how? How do I do more? But I guess it's not about asking the questions. It's just about doing. It's just about doing as much as you fucking humanly can. And I know that I'm only giving myself like 80% effort, you know, out there, because the other 20% is just energy that I'm using to be in my mind to tell myself that this fucking sucks and I have to do this for another fucking 6 hours or some shit. And you know what? That's not a good use of energy. Nope. I could be using that energy to slaying the fucking dragon. I'm impressed with myself with what I can do without trying, right? So what can I do when I'm genuinely trying? And that's what the hero does. They try so fucking hard. And when they think they can't try any harder, they just find something in them to go that extra mile. You know, when you hit that wall, that's when the game really starts. It's not getting into the block, it's not doing the trees, it's when you get to the point where you find resistance. That's the dragon. It's not the trees, it's not the land, it's your own resistance. The dragon is not outside, it's in me. And perhaps I have to embody it. Perhaps part of this game is to be able to fucking embody this ferocious beast that can just pound those trees, you know, pound the weakest parts of myself into submission, because it's out here, it's in the game, and I don't really want it to be in the game because it's not very fun when I think I can't do it. Looking at this mountain right now reminds me of a sleeping dragon, in a way. Perhaps I'm projecting, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Perhaps the heroine of this story is not supposed to slay the dragon, per se. Perhaps I am being called to be the dragon. Because it takes a ferociousness to be able to fucking smash this rock. This rock, in some places, is not nice. It's not gonna let me just go in with my shovel and slide on in. It requires me to fucking give her. And so I'm gonna give her. I'm gonna be the fucking dragon. I'm gonna pound as hard as I can. You know, here it's not about being loose and fluid. Carly, our resident fucking pro, our vet, she says that she keeps herself rigid and she just gives it with the shoulder. I'm not really using my shoulders right now. I'm using like my hand and forearms, but I noticed in a couple of times where I'm like really going over top of this rock and really pounding it in. That's what it fucking takes. That's what it fucking takes out here. So I'm going to be using my shoulders. These are the shoulders of dragons. And if it requires me to roar, I'm gonna fucking roar. Because this rock makes me angry. And sometimes it makes me cry. And you know what? The crying, it's okay. It's okay to release it. You know, it's cleansing. It's cleansing. But I'm crying out of weakness, you know? It's a crying of I can't do it. And I can do it. So I'm not gonna cry.
Good morning. It is the first day of the 7th shift. This is our last shift here in Osoyoos. We have 3 days left in this contract, and we are not leaving until the last tree is in the ground. So that means we need to pound hard and pound fast like we've never pounded before. And in order to get there, I'm bringing out my inner beast, my hero. I present to you the cheetah! Let's do it!
You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
So I was told tree planting was not for a weak ass bitch, and I can see what they mean by that. I have to go down there through all this fucking slash and plant it all. It's fun, but it's type 2 kind of fun, which is the fucked up kind of fun. Whew. And part of it is the joy of being scared and moving carefully but efficiently, still quickly, and finding the fucking soil. Because a lot of this is falling logs. It's wood rot. Like this, I can't plant in that. I would have to dig even deeper. Oh, so that's too close to my last tree. Ooh. 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 I am having fun. I am enjoying this. I'm gonna keep telling myself that until it's actually true. Okay. I can't even see my goddamn flag. Oh, that's a shitty ass tree. There's the soil. Flag high. You'll thank yourself later. Screefing? What's that? I don't know what the I don't know what that is. Nope. Not going to kick the dirt with my fucking feet. This is a shitty tree then. It's a shitty ass tree. One of my roommates who were a planner, we had several discussions about how to really plant hard and plant as much as you can, and he says, which I'm sure any manager watching will not appreciate this, but he said that it's about riding the line of what's an acceptable tree or not. Obviously, if all you plant is shit trees, you're gonna get called out by that. But if you establish yourself at the beginning as a good planter who plants quality trees, well, then your foreman and all will be less likely to check all your trees, right? They won't be on your ass as much because they trust you. And you know what? Even if they do check your trees, they can't check every single tree, right? So you can get away with planting a couple of shitty trees. However, there's always a risk in doing that. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, because if you are called out by it, they can make you recheck or replant your entire section, your entire line. And you don't get paid for replants. You only get paid to plant once. So if it's not good, then the second time is on you. And I don't know, I'm not gonna be too cocky and say I'm never gonna get called out. I'm sure I will at some point in the season. I'm sure I'm not sure, but it could be likely that I have a day where I just replant. I'm gonna try my best to avoid that, but I'm always taking a gamble when I'm planting a shitty tree. Today is the end, guys. It is the end of the very first month as a tree planter for me, and boy has it been an adventure. It's also the end of our contract here in Osoyoos, which means that tomorrow morning we are packing up and heading to our next location, which is 7 hours north to a town called Quesnel. So that is going to be a brand new change, with new challenges and new planting styles and new experiences. I'm very excited for that. However, it's definitely been an interesting end to this contract. It's ironic because in my last clip I was talking about, you know, riding the line for the quality of trees that you get to plant. And always having, you know, gambling with the risk of having to replant your trees. Well, that's kind of what happened today. Basically, an entire block failed. So not just one planter had to go back and replant, but our crew as well as the other crews that are here all had to spend the day not getting paid, basically checking over our trees and replanting all of the shitty ones.
Let's have a look here. We'll just like replant the one or shadows, okay? This is the only concern they have here. It's the only reason why it's failing.
When you start a line, you just check if the trees are tight or not.
So let's all come here.
Let's all start looking.
Okay, so like this is fine, like you don't see the plug or whatever. Like here, I just moved it and I can see it. There's like shadow slash shit trees. We're gonna take each trees that we see kinda and right there it is. And just like twist the plug like this, right? If it's in the dirt, like come here, Marie-Pierre, you had, yeah, Mike. So like, this is not mineral soil, okay? This is not mineral soil. This is, yeah, this is here, okay? So whatever, every time you see like a tree that is like in red rot or whatever, you're gonna look at it, you're gonna dig around, see if the plug is in the mineral soil. If it's not, you just dig the tree out, you make sure you dig into the dirt, put the tree down, make a nice tree, and the plug is not showing, okay? Basically I just want us to like follow a line, I guess, and look at the tree, or two lines, just go in zigzag and be like, you know, a twist, like here, to give an example, here's red rot. I'm taking the red rot off. I see the plug, right? Like, of course there's mineral soil here, but not even much. And
the plug was
yeah, that's
not even in the...
So I'm just gonna find dirt, mineral soil, and I'm gonna do it right. Good?
Good.
Yo, J-Root! I see why you're called that now. Are you talking shit about my trees? Yeah, I mean, we failed because we all fucked up, eh? So, that was probably not the best experience, at least for the vets. I enjoyed it because I didn't have to carry my planting bags and I could just run around and just check on trees, listen to podcasts. We got to end the day early, like we got back by 11 o'clock, so we had the day to ourselves again to just chill, which means that for me that's a small price to pay for, you know, having more free time. That's something that you don't get a lot of during this experience. So I'm not going to complain too much about that, but we are all going to step up our games and make sure that as a crew we are holding ourselves accountable and making sure that we plant quality trees so we don't all have to go back and fix our mistakes. Regardless of that, I am very grateful with how my first month has been so far. I feel like my body is finally starting to adapt to this job. I don't feel like creaky and painful the next morning. It's still a bit hard to wake up so early. I'm waking up at 4:45 and I'm trying to get to bed by like 9 o'clock, but sleep is something that I'm still trying to figure out how to get enough of. Other than that, I am super grateful to see the number on my second paycheck. I went from getting like $1,300 after taxes and like all the cost of the gear that I got from the company to getting a pay increase of $2,500, which I think after taxes I'll see probably $2,000 in my bank account. I like sharing money with you guys because it's not a way for me to brag. It's really to raise your consciousness and show you how much money you can make in this position. I still am not making as much money as, you know, the vets on my crew and other crews that are planting like 2,000 or 3,000 trees a day. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much more money I can make in this position. We have another 2.5 months in this job, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. My planting speed is getting better. I think I'm really focusing on efficiency and fluidity of movements. My PB is 1460 and my goal is 1500, so hopefully I can hit that within the next contract and start to maintain at least that average amount of trees a day, because at that point that's when I'm gonna start making like $200 or more in a day. So other than that, I don't think I have anything else to share with you guys to end off this episode. If you enjoyed the video, then please give it a like and subscribe to my channel, because there will be much more content to come. And with that, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day.